They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
All right, so the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead.
Elon Musk's fight against woke culture has turned deeply personal. He now blames it for destroying his relationship with his son, leaving their bond shattered.
Free speech is meaningless unless you allow people you don't like to say things you don't like. Otherwise, it's irrelevant. And if at the point at which you lose free speech, it doesn't come back.
Musk is allegedly determined to strike back at the very forces he believes tore his family apart. But how far will he go in his quest for revenge? The moment Musk and his son were torn apart. The story of Elon Musk and his child Vivian, once known as Xavier, is a dramatic and emotional one, rooted in deep philosophical and personal differences. But the moment that truly tore them apart began in 2022, when Xavier officially filed paperwork to change both their name and gender. In this pivotal moment, Elon's once close bond with his son fractured. According to some sources, this was a decision that caught Musk by surprise, yet others allege that he had seen the signs long before and had been struggling internally with it for years. Vivian Jenna Wilson, as she is now known, took on her mother's maiden name, Wilson, as a part of distancing herself from the Musk legacy. This change, simple in paperwork, sent shockwaves through the family, and especially through Elon himself. It wasn't just about the transition, it was about a deep rejection of Musk, not only as a father, but also as a figurehead for the future. It was a rejection of everything Musk had built and represented.
It happened to one of my older boys, where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This was before I had really any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID.
Imagine being the world's most influential entrepreneur, only to have your own child publicly separate from you in such a personal and symbolic way. According to reports, the family fallout was immediate and brutal. Elon, who has been a vocal critic of what he refers to as woke culture, saw this as more than a personal issue. It wasn't just about his child's gender identity, but a reflection of how modern culture, in his view, is shaping the minds of young people. Some insiders claim Elon was furious, not necessarily with Vivian herself, but with the societal pressures he believes influenced her decision. His opposition to wokeness was now playing out in his own household, with his own child. Musk, always a figure who divides opinion, had already been vocal about his views on woke culture long before his son's transition. But this moment, the personal blow of losing his son in such a symbolic way, seems to have intensified his public rhetoric. Friends of the family describe Musk as deeply saddened, feeling that woke ideology had stolen his child from him. Although no official statements were made directly about Vivian's transition, Musk's cryptic tweets and interviews left little doubt about his stance.
I think we need to be very cautious about anything that is anti-meritocratic, and anything that is that results in the suppression of free speech. Those are two of the aspects of the woke mind virus that I think are very dangerous.
He described woke culture as a virus, and many speculate that his son's transition was what solidified his stance against this so-called cultural shift. But here's where things get even more complicated. Insiders allege that Musk didn't want to lose his son, and that behind closed doors, there were desperate attempts to reconcile. He reportedly reached out several times, trying to reconnect, but it appears his efforts were in vain. Vivian, determined to cut ties with her father, wanted nothing to do with the Musk name, and even less with his worldviews. What shocked many was the total lack of communication between the two. Sources close to the family say that Musk and Vivian haven't spoken since the name change became official. This isn't just a father and son growing apart. This is a complete breakdown of their relationship. Can you imagine one of the wealthiest, most powerful men in the world being shut out by his own child? For Elon, this isn't just personal, it's ideological. His battle against woke culture has taken on a new, deeply emotional layer. As the head of multiple cutting-edge companies, from Tesla to SpaceX, Musk believes in pushing humanity forward. But to him, woke culture represents a regression, a loss of individual freedom in the face of societal pressures. His child's transition, therefore, isn't just about gender. It's about what Musk perceives as the erosion of personal choice under the weight of cultural conformity.
Vivian Jenna Wilson. I'm just going to come on here and say that I'm doing well. I'm doing fine, actually. And I am formulating a response and whatnot. It's being worked on. It's being worked on. Just hold your goddamn horses for 5 more seconds, okay?
As Vivian embraces her new identity, Elon seems more driven than ever to fight against what he sees as a dangerous movement shaping the next generation. But with his personal life now a battlefield in this fight, the stakes are higher than ever. Some wonder if Elon will ever come to terms with his son's choices, or if this ideological divide has permanently fractured their relationship. Can Elon Musk really fight the tide of woke culture if it's already swept through his own family? Or has this conflict only deepened his resolve to stand against it? Elon Musk declares war on woke culture. Elon Musk's battle against woke culture didn't start with his son's transition, but that moment ignited a fire in him that would burn brighter than ever. Musk has always been a man who goes against the grain, challenging the status quo and pushing boundaries, whether it's with electric cars or space exploration. But his war on woke culture, this cultural movement he believes is stifling free thought, has become just as much a part of his public identity as his tech ventures. In 2020, Musk tweeted, "The woke mind virus is making Netflix unwatchable." It wasn't the first time Musk had openly mocked woke culture, but this tweet marked a turning point. From there, he began an increasingly public and relentless campaign against the ideology he believes is tearing society apart. Musk views woke culture as a form of authoritarianism that silences dissent, and in his mind, it's deeply connected to cancel culture and the progressive push for political correctness. For Musk, these movements don't represent progress, they represent control. His war against woke culture has also intertwined with his views on free speech. Musk, a self-proclaimed free speech absolutist, has gone after the platforms he sees as pushing woke agenda. In fact, Musk's $44 billion acquisition of Twitter wasn't just a business move, it was a battleground.
South Park, where they say, you know, freedom isn't free, it costs $1.05 or whatever. But it's pretty cheap, okay? It's low cost freedom.
He aimed to reform the platform that had become notorious for deplatforming controversial figures and restricting what could be said online. According to Musk, this wasn't about making money. It was about preserving the freedom to speak one's mind without fear of cancellation. But this move was met with significant backlash.
This is one of the episodes that has really drawn a lot of attention to this conflict between, free speech and the absolutist version that Elon Musk has been promoting, especially on his Twitter platform, and some of the hate speech and disinformation that are behind, authorities say, some of the recent rioting that took place in the UK following the July 29th murder of 3 schoolgirls.
Critics accused Musk of supporting hate speech and of giving a platform to extremists. In turn, Musk fired back, accusing the woke mob of being the real threat to free discourse. This only deepened the ideological divide between him and the progressive world. But Musk didn't back down. He saw himself as the defender of open dialogue in a world increasingly dominated by censorship and conformity. His actions, firing Twitter employees who he believed were contributing to the problem and reinstating banned accounts, shook the tech world to its core. One of the more shocking moments in Musk's anti-woke crusade was his open support for conservative figures and movements, despite being historically aligned with more liberal causes like environmentalism. He began publicly aligning himself with figures who stood against progressive ideals, including those who questioned the legitimacy of gender transitions, further fueling speculation about his personal stance on his son's own transition. Musk never directly referenced Vivian's transition in any of these moments, but insiders allege that the timing of his public rhetoric is no coincidence. This shift in his political leanings shocked many of his followers. After all, Musk had always been seen as a forward-thinking, progressive figure. But as woke culture grew in influence, Musk's frustration with it turned into open rebellion. To him, the progressive values he once supported had morphed into something oppressive, something that was now threatening the very principles of free speech and innovation that he held so dear. Some sources allege that Musk's anti-woke stance has cost him relationships in his personal life, including with friends who were more aligned with the progressive left. It's been suggested that Musk has become increasingly isolated in his views, but that isolation has only hardened his resolve. He's not just speaking out against woke culture, he's making it a central part of his public persona. And yet, even as Musk wages war on woke culture, the world watches his personal life unravel. His son's transition has, according to insiders, become a symbol of everything Musk despises about the modern cultural landscape. But how long can Elon Musk continue to fight a cultural war when his own family is deeply affected by the very thing he's opposing? Elon's true feelings about transitioning revealed. As the world speculates about Elon Musk's views on transitioning and gender identity, one thing is clear: he's never shied away from controversy.
Some of these conspiracy theories have turned out to be true.
Which ones?
Well, like the Hunter Biden laptop.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that was a pretty big deal. There was Twitter and others engaged in active suppression of information that was relevant to the public. That's a terrible thing that happened. That's like.
And his personal opinions have often become a topic of public debate. While Musk has never outright condemned gender transitions, his comments, and more importantly, his actions, speak volumes. Some reports suggest that Musk has privately expressed discomfort with the idea of transitioning, particularly when it comes to young people making such a significant decision. He's publicly aligned himself with figures who have questioned whether minors should be allowed to undergo gender transitions, sparking outrage from the progressive left. Allegedly, Musk's stance isn't rooted in transphobia, but rather in his libertarian belief in personal responsibility and informed choice. He questioned whether young people are truly equipped to make such life-altering decisions, or whether they are being unduly influenced by societal trends. Musk's own relationship with his son, Vivian, has only deepened the speculation around his views. Those close to the family claim that Musk was initially supportive of Xavier's decision to transition, but became increasingly withdrawn as the process unfolded. It's alleged that Musk believed his child was too young to fully understand the consequences of such a major change, and that he felt helpless watching it happen. This internal conflict between being a supportive parent and holding on to his own beliefs about individual responsibility is something that many believe has caused a rift in Musk's psyche. On one hand, Musk has always championed the idea of self-determination. He's built his entire empire on the belief that individuals should be free to pursue their own paths. But on the other hand, Musk seems to believe that there is a limit to how much society should encourage or validate certain decisions, especially when it comes to children and adolescents. In one interview, Musk referred to woke culture as divisive and destructive.
I think we need to be very cautious about anything that is anti-meritocratic, and anything that is that results in the suppression of free speech. Those are two of the aspects of the woke mind virus that I think are very dangerous. Is that it's often anti-meritocratic. You can't question things. Even the questioning is bad.
Claiming it encourages groupthink and conformity rather than individual thought. Many took this as a thinly veiled criticism of movements that promote gender transitions. While Musk never directly mentioned his son, the timing of the interview, just months after Vivian's legal name and gender change, led many to believe that Musk's public comments were a reflection of his personal struggles. It's important to note that despite his public stance, Musk has never directly addressed his son's transition in detail. Some insiders claim that this is because Musk respects his child's privacy, while others speculate that it's because Musk is trying to avoid further alienating his son. Regardless, his reluctance to openly discuss the matter has only fueled more speculation. As Musk continues to wage war against woke culture, his personal life seems to serve as a backdrop to his ideological fight. Can he reconcile his public beliefs with the reality of his son's transition? Or will this ideological divide continue to grow, tearing the Musk family even further apart? Woke ideology threatens Musk's vision for the world. For Elon Musk, the war against woke ideology is more than just a personal struggle. It's an existential threat to the future of innovation, freedom, and the very progress he envisions for humanity. Musk's entire career is built on pushing boundaries and defying conventional wisdom. He's revolutionized industries, from electric vehicles to space travel, and his influence extends far beyond technology. But in his eyes, woke culture is stifling the very innovation that he has dedicated his life to promoting. In numerous interviews and public statements, Musk has linked woke ideology to what he calls anti-meritocratic practices. He believes that woke culture rewards conformity over creativity, and that the obsession with inclusivity and political correctness is a detriment to genuine progress. Musk has often pointed to how industries are being forced to prioritize diversity over talent, leading to what he perceives as mediocrity in fields where excellence is crucial. According to him, the rise of woke culture is a roadblock to the advancements he is trying to make with companies like Tesla, SpaceX, and Neuralink. One particularly striking moment that underscores Musk's frustration came in 2021, when Tesla faced a high-profile lawsuit from the state of California. The lawsuit alleged systemic racial discrimination and claimed that Tesla's factory environment was hostile to black employees. Musk's response was swift and brutal. He didn't deny the existence of problems, but framed the lawsuit as an attack by woke forces, who, in his view, were less interested in justice and more interested in crippling one of the world's most innovative companies. Musk allegedly told insiders that this lawsuit was the perfect example of how woke culture, with its focus on identity politics, was attempting to destroy merit-based innovation. This was not the first time Musk's companies found themselves at odds with woke ideology. In 2018, Tesla came under fire when Musk dismissed concerns about gender equality at the company, suggesting that the focus should be on talent and performance rather than representation. Critics pounced, accusing him of perpetuating the very inequalities that woke culture aims to eliminate. But for Musk, this was all part of a larger battle. He has said that his companies should be focused on solving humanity's most pressing problems, and that identity politics and woke agendas are distractions from that goal. Another controversial point that drove a wedge between Musk and woke culture was his stance on artificial intelligence. Musk has repeatedly warned about the dangers of AI, going so far as to describe it as the greatest threat to humanity. But according to reports, Musk has also privately expressed concerns about how woke culture could influence AI development. He allegedly fears that political correctness and identity politics will corrupt the creation of AI systems, leading to algorithms that prioritize social justice issues over functionality and innovation. In Musk's view, this could have devastating consequences for humanity's future, as AI that is built with ideological bias could make critical decisions based on political agendas rather than merit or logic. Musk's vision for the world is one of unfettered progress, where the best ideas rise to the top based on their merit, not their adherence to social or political trends. This belief extends to his companies, where Musk has long pushed a first principles approach, a method of problem-solving that breaks down complex issues into their most fundamental truths, stripping away assumptions and biases. Woke culture, Musk argues, does the opposite. It enforces assumptions about gender, race, and identity, and forces individuals and organizations to conform to predetermined narratives. This ideological clash between Musk and woke culture came to a head in 2022, when Twitter was under pressure to censor speech that was deemed harmful or politically incorrect. Musk, a free speech absolutist, saw this as a direct threat to the future of open discourse, which he believes is essential for progress. It's no coincidence that Musk decided to acquire Twitter during this period, viewing it as a last stand against the forces of censorship and woke authoritarianism. Insiders allege that Musk's frustration with Twitter's previous leadership was compounded by his personal experiences with censorship, having seen some of his own tweets flagged for allegedly violating the platform's content policies. Musk has made it clear that he sees woke culture as the greatest obstacle to his vision for the future, a future where humans colonize Mars, where AI is developed responsibly, and where freedom of speech is protected at all costs. But as woke ideology continues to gain ground, one has to wonder, how long can Musk fight against the tide of cultural change before it consumes him? Will Elon Musk ever reconcile with his own child? The emotional toll of Elon Musk's battle with woke culture isn't just ideological, it's deeply personal. The fracture in his relationship with his child, Vivian, symbolizes the very divide Musk has been fighting against in the public sphere. But the question remains, can this father and child ever reconcile, or has the cultural and ideological divide grown too wide? Since Vivian's transition, insiders claim that the Musk family has been torn apart. While Musk has been careful not to publicly discuss his child's personal life, those close to the situation allege that the tension is palpable. According to some reports, Vivian feels that her father's public war on woke culture is a direct attack on her identity, while Musk believes that woke ideology is responsible for driving a wedge between them. It's a heartbreaking scenario, one that pits Musk's personal beliefs against his role as a father. Vivian, now fully embracing her new identity, has distanced herself from Musk both emotionally and legally. Her decision to take her mother's surname, Wilson, was not just a symbolic act, it was a statement of independence from her father's influence. Musk's public persona has always been one of defiance, a man who refuses to back down even when the odds are stacked against him. His relentless pursuit of progress and innovation has often come at the cost of personal relationships, with Musk himself admitting in interviews that he struggles with maintaining a work-life balance. The breakdown of his relationship with Vivian may be just another casualty in Musk's ongoing war against what he views as the dangers of woke ideology. There's also speculation about whether Musk's public statements on gender identity and woke culture are making reconciliation even more difficult. In one interview, Musk suggested that woke ideology was making people lose touch with reality, a comment that many interpreted as a direct reference to his child's transition. While Musk has never confirmed this, the timing of his statements and his increasingly aggressive stance against woke culture have led many to believe that his personal and public lives are more intertwined than he lets on. It's worth noting that Musk's own upbringing may have influenced his current views. Raised in apartheid-era South Africa, Musk has spoken in the past about how he was exposed to harsh realities and complex social dynamics from a young age. Some allege that Musk's experiences growing up in a divided society have shaped his views on identity politics and individualism. This could explain why Musk is so resistant to woke culture, seeing it as another form of division and control. As Musk continues his war against woke culture, it's possible that his relationship with Vivian will only grow more distant. Will Elon Musk ever mend the rift with his child, or is their relationship broken beyond repair? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If this story shocked you, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's more drama ahead, so stay tuned for our next video.